Hey there, this is Dave Gleason. I'm head coach here at my facility, Athletic Revolution in Pembroke, Massachusetts. And listen, I just did a video on strength training for kids 6 to 9 years old. So just philosophically, or an overview, if you will, on how to strength train or provide strength training for younger athletes, 6 to 9 years old, boys and girls. This video right now is going to be for the next age group up that we deal with here, which is 10 to 13-year-olds. Now, just briefly, the reason that we categorize the kids primarily by chronological age in this fashion is because they're going through similar, although not exactly the same things as they're developing and growing. There's certain times where kids won't fit into those brackets of ages, but for the most part it works extremely well. So strength training for 10 to 13-year-old kids, in my community anyway, this is where the heat's really starting to be turned up, and especially in terms of youth sports. Tryout teams, club teams, it's getting very serious, younger and younger, and right now seems like the 10 to 13-year-old age group, it's like time to turn on the heat, put the gas pedal down, let's go after it. In fact, this is the time I would argue we need to take our foot off the gas pedal. This is the time where a lot of the peak height velocity happens, the growth spurts, if you will, where their muscles are going through chaos because they're stretched to their max because their bones are growing so fast. In addition to that, this is an example. You might have seen some kids out there on the fields or on the courts that they were one of the fastest out there, 3 months ago, and now they're running or skating or whatever like a newborn calf. It's like they forgot how to move. Well, that chaos is absolutely normal. So we have to keep that in mind. So on to strength training. How do we provide strength training for 10 to 13-year-old kids, boys and girls? Much like the younger age group, 6 to 9 years old, it needs to be part of a bigger picture. Let's start there. It needs to be part of enhanced coordination development. It needs to be part of mobility training and mobility work. It needs to be part of the educational process and certainly the practical aspects of an active warm-up or a general preparation phase where they're learning how to prepare their bodies to move. It still has to involve gameplay and fun activities, okay? And it's all encompassing. It's all encompassing. And the next thing I want to tell you, this is true for the younger kids, but even more so now, it's more about biomotor skill development than biomotor enhancement. Now, what does that mean? Because I know lots of parents watch these videos as well. Biomotor skill development is our way of talking to you or saying, or explaining, I should say, getting better at movement, getting better at activities. Bioskill enhancement, that's your performance training. That's laying out cones and having them do them over and over again, hoping they get faster. And many times they do, just by the virtue that they're growing and getting older and naturally stronger. It's biomotor enhancement or performance training a lot of times looks like, okay, we're going to bench again today and you should be able to do a few more reps today, or we should be able to increase the amount of weight that you're pushing, because that's what it says on our chart right here, okay? There's a difference between that and biomotor skill development. The skill involved in mastering how to squat, do a push-up, a lunge, a lateral lunge, a squat with weight on your back, a clean, a deadlift. Okay, now we start to talk about some more of the traditional lifts, if you will, and bar skills that we think about, especially with our high school kids. But as I said, we're starting to turn up the heat on the younger kids. All right? So we teach these skills. We have bar skill sessions in here. We teach the skill of how to do a clean, a front squat with a PVC pipe, a clean with a PVC pipe, a deadlift, a Romanian deadlift. We go through all these bar skills so that by the time they're a freshman in high school, they're able to teach the other kids in high school how to do it right. They have such a knowledge and a mastery of those skills that their injury resistance goes through the roof, and guess what? So does their performance. If we move well, our performance goes through the roof. If we don't, our performance may go up to a certain point, but then we plateau, and as we try to push through that, that's where injury can happen. And we want to stay away from that. So in terms of strength training specifics, you can go through all those traditional lifts with your younger athletes, your 10 to 13-year-olds, but think of it as teaching them the skills of those things, of those activities. Not so much just looking for that performance enhancement, just the values, the numbers, okay? Still think about it in terms of systemic strength, big movement strength. Think about movements, not muscles still, okay? The only area of the body where we'll really try to strengthen at this age is their upper back in through their thoracic spine, that upper back area from like their bottom rib to about their neck. Because as kids grow longer during this age group, they get tighter in that area. And just by the fact that that muscle tissue is a little immature and now it's stretched out, which makes it weaker. When a muscle is longer, it's a little bit weaker. It's just a leverage thing. If we can help them make those muscles a little bit stronger, it helps with posture, which helps with movement ability, and movement ability translates into performance. See how it's all interrelated? But so many times we start with the end in mind and we stay there. We don't back up and look at the foundation that will build upon itself to get to that better performance. All we do is replicate those performance measures over and over and over and over and over again. All right? So again, like if we want them to get faster, we're just going to run them until they get faster. No, we're actually going to go through the technique of running faster. Some simple cueing that will help kids run faster. But back to strength training, we're going to use simple cueing and activities, drills if you will, to enhance skill. Skill development leads to injury resistance and better performance. Bottom line. Bottom line. So hopefully this helps you out. A little bit different than the 6 to 9-year-olds. It's just another step up. That's all you really need to know at this point. That's all you really need to know. You know, we can go into the X's and O's. It's all the same exercises we're used to a lot of the times, but skill development, I can't impress upon you that point enough. All right? So take this back to your home and to your child when you're looking for a program to get them into, or if you're in the field, take a look at what you're doing and make sure that you're working on skill, not just the drills. Thanks so much. This is Dave Gleason, and we'll see you again real soon.